It's a wonderful day in DNA Town. The schools are brimming with little kids who are very smart. However, they don't know about protein synthesis. The evil teacher, Mr. Virus, will use that to work against them. He has planned his entire life for this moment, and it's about to pay off. Ever since Mr. Virus was born, he always brought people colds and sicknesses, so they named the word virus after him. He eventually worked at an elementary school and attempted to get all the kids expelled. He wanted everyone to feel bad.
Timmy, you're expelled! So, class, announce your say here for roll call when I mention your name. Garbett.
Here.
Chance.
Here.
Chelly. Daltino.
Here.
All present. Now, students, tell me about protein synthesis.
Why?
If you don't know protein synthesis, then you must leave this school. The school will not tolerate any uneducated people who don't know protein synthesis.
I don't believe you.
Look in the rule book yourself, Ben.
It states that all students who don't know protein synthesis must leave the school. However, the student who is being challenged has to take a test. And if they get a 70% or above, the teacher will be fired.
I am now going to grab the papers.
Hi kids, it's me, White Blood Cell, the principal of the school, with my surgeon, Dr. Jessica.
Why are you here?
We want to fire Mr. Virus, so we took this as a great opportunity to fire him because we're too scared to fire him ourselves. Have you heard of DNA?
No! Yes.
I'm getting mixed answers here. Instead, I will tell you what DNA is. DNA is what your genes are. Don't forget that.
DNA is what gives you your identity. It's who you are. Anywho, so with this in mind, tell me something in your class that is different from everyone else.
My body. My leg size. My hair color.
That is all correct.
Anywho, and now, upon that subject, you must be wondering, where is DNA stored? And this is where we bring up the second point, cells.
This is what we call the cells. A cell is a tiny particle that you can't see. However, there are trillions of them in your body. It's what makes your heart, brain, lungs, etc.
Cells make exact duplications of themselves.
Take constantly to make your body grow, such as to make you taller, to have your skin grow back. The DNA can't leave the cell, no matter what. It must stay in the cell.
Now, if you ignore all of that over to the left and look over to the right here, as you can see, this is not a cell, keep this in mind. But the DNA can't leave this. However, outside of this, there is something a little bigger, a cell. This is a nucleus which is inside the cell, and then outside of the nucleus is your cell. So, now, you might be wondering, how does the cell know what to do with the protein? You see, what you have to do, since DNA can't really tell the cell what to do, it uses a special thing called RNA.
So what you're saying is that DNA can't control the cell without sending RNA.
Correct, my dear.
Okay, so DNA and RNA are the topic we need to focus on. That's your protein synthesis. You see, RNA to DNA. And now you might be wondering, what is he going to test you on? So this is my answer to that. He's most definitely going to test you on how DNA uses RNA. So that's the first topic. So to explain that, RNA uses 4 different letters to encode things. And I'll explain how it works later. Just, if you can, remember A, T, C, and G. Now, I'm going to go write stuff on the board here to explain how it all works. Okay, so this is a string of data. So imagine this. DNA sends these letters to RNA. And then RNA knows what it means, okay? You probably aren't going to know what it means for a while. But I'm going to tell you right now that RNA reads this information, sends it out to the protein, and then the protein knows what it needs to do with this. However, it's not all perfect. It doesn't just read this out. This is what protein synthesis is, by the way. So, the data currently will be flipped when it goes through RNA. So, and to tell you how it's flipped, I am going to show you in a quick hoppity-doo. The G will turn into a C, as you can see. The A will turn into a T, as you can see here. C will turn into a G, so basically, vice versa. G to C, C to G, A to T, and T to A, as you can see on this board. A goes to T, T goes to A.
The letters are proteins from DNA and RNA. The letters are just nitrogen bases.
There are 4 nitrogen bases. If you're wondering what they are, I shall be explaining them now. They are
Adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. However, they are just the 4 letters as we've used. The A, T, G, and C. These bases convey information through the order in which they appear. So if we go back, G, 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 C, 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 A, 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 T, 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 that would read from left to right like you read in a book.
Also, each base only bonds with one other type of base. For instance, if one strand of DNA has a base adenine, it can only bond with another strand which has thymine. Cytosine and guanine also bond together.
Next up on the list is DNA to mRNA.
Is it the same?
Almost.
Look at this code. A, 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 T, 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 G, G, C, C.
This would be known as U, 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 A, 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 C, C, G, G. One difference between DNA and RNA is that the thymine changes to uracil.
So instead of the T, you have a U, basically.
So, answer this problem. Convert the DNA to RNA.
is it A G G G C C C.
Correct!
So, since you understand, let's move on to the more complicated details. There are multiple proteins in your cells we have mentioned before. Proteins are basically mass energy sources that power your mind, cells, and body. And to make it simpler, your body uses the protein from the food you eat to energize your cells.
The DNA is inside this nucleus. This is a whole entire cell this time, the photo. So there's the DNA, you can't see it since it's inside the nucleus. Then, see all these little blue and orange little particles and green? Those are all proteins. proteins that your body needs to control and use so you can operate, you can function, you know. Well, the DNA can't go outside this, right? It can't go outside this nucleus. So it has to send something out, right, to send data. So it sends mRNA, which we then will say, I don't know, wants to tell this the green thing over here to do something. Well, it just goes through, and there you go, it's done something. Congratulations. Now you know all about protein synthesis. Okay, honestly, the test should be pretty easy. We're gonna get going now. So, see ya. Finally, I got that stupid printer to work. Alright. Alrighty then. Chance, you're taking the test.
Me? Okay, I guess I got it. I don't know.
Alright. Come sit at Timmy's old chair, and the test will begin. The test has started now!
1 hour later.
I finished.
59 minutes later.
He got 70% on the test!
This day would go down in history as the day Mr. Virus lost his job. Mr. Virus went missing, and no one cared. Moving on, the school became known as the world's greatest school, and all the kids became super geniuses. Daltino became a successful entrepreneur in the pizza roll business. Chelly became a scientist and discovered the cure for viruses. Garbett transcended his physical body to live instead on the ethereal plane. And Chance became something.